In a quiet village in the remote area of Nyakujga lived a young woman called Rumbi. She was affectionately known as Rumbi. She lived alone in her small thatched house. Her days were spent tending to her modest garden, and her nights were filled with quiet solitude. Life was peaceful until strange things began happening. One evening, as Rumbi prepared dinner, she noticed that her cooking spoon was missing. She searched everywhere, and just as she was about to give up, a faint whisper filled the air. "Look under the bed, Mommy." Rumbi was stunned, as she was the only person in the house. Confused and her heart racing, Rumbi approached her bed. Kneeling down, she peered underneath it, and to her astonishment, found the cooking spoon lying there. Confused but relieved, she dismissed it as a moment of forgetfulness. She, however, wondered how she could have put the spoon under the bed, but this was just the beginning. The next day, Rumbi woke up to find her favorite clay pot missing. She searched high and low, becoming increasingly frustrated. As she sat down, exhausted, the whisper returned. "Look under the bed." She looked around, but she was by herself in the house. With a mix of fear and curiosity, she did as instructed, and sure enough, found the clay pot exactly where the voice said it would be. She began to wonder if her mind was playing tricks on her. Days turned into weeks, and the whispers continued. Items would vanish, only to reappear under the bed after the ghostly voice guided her. Rumbi felt a growing sense of unease, and the once comforting solitude of her home now felt oppressive and eerie. As the days passed, Rumbi noticed a pattern in the mysterious occurrences. The items that disappeared were always things that she used daily. One morning, she couldn't find her favorite necklace, a cherished keepsake from her mother. Panic set in as she frantically searched every corner of the house. The whisper came again. "Look under the bed." Sure enough, the necklace was there, glinting in the dim light. Rumbi's distress grew with each incident. She spoke to her neighbors, but they dismissed her concerns, attributing it to the loneliness of living alone. However, Rumbi knew that something was amiss. She decided to keep track of each strange event and the whispers that followed. The situation worsened when Rumbi's garden tools started to vanish. One of the tools disappeared one morning. As expected, the whisper led her to look under the bed, and there it was. Frustrated and determined to find answers, Rumbi decided to consult a local witch doctor named Sekurumboma, who was known for his wisdom and connection to the spirit world. Rumbi explained her predicament to Sekurumboma, who listened intently. He nodded thoughtfully and promised to visit her the next day to perform a ritual that might reveal the source of the disturbances. Rumbi felt a glimmer of hope, believing that Sekurumboma might be able to put an end to the haunting whispers. True to his word, Sekurumboma arrived at Rumbi's house the following morning, carrying a bag of herbs and sacred items. He inspected the house, chanting softly. Rumbi watched anxiously, hoping for a resolution to end the strange events. Sekurumboma finally sat down and prepared a small fire in the center of the house. He threw herbs into the flames, creating a thick aromatic smoke. As the smoke filled the room, Sekurumboma began to speak in a low, melodic voice, calling upon the spirits to reveal themselves. The air grew heavy and Rumbi felt a chill run down her spine. Suddenly, the whisper of a small child returned, louder and clearer than ever before. "Look under the bed, Mommy." Sekurumboma motioned for Rumbi to look under the bed one more time. With trembling hands, she lifted the edge of the mat and peered underneath. There, she found not just a missing item, but an old, worn doll she had never seen before. Sekurumboma's eyes widened as he picked up the doll and examined it closely. He turned to Rumbi with a grave expression. "This doll is a vessel," he explained. "It carries the spirit of a child. This spirit has been trying to communicate with you." Rumbi felt a mix of fear and sorrow. Sekurumbama continued, "This spirit is not bad. It seeks your attention for a reason." As Sekurumboma's words sank in, Rumbi was flooded with memories of a painful time in her past. Years ago, she had suffered a miscarriage, losing the child she had longed for. The grief had been overwhelming, and she had buried her sorrow deep within her heart, never speaking of it again. Tears welled up in her eyes as she realized the spirit of her lost child had been with her all along. Sekurumbama placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You must acknowledge this spirit and give it the peace it seeks," he advised. "Only then will these disturbances cease." Rumbi nodded, determined to find a way to communicate with the spirit and bring closure to both herself and her lost child. That evening, Rumbi sat quietly, holding the door close to her chest. She whispered softly, apologizing for not recognizing the presence of her child's spirit earlier. She spoke of her love and sorrow, hoping the spirit would understand her pain. The air in the house felt warmer, and for the first time in weeks, Rumbi felt a sense of calm. The days passed without any strange occurrences. Rumbi continued to speak to the spirit each night, sharing her thoughts and memories. She began to feel a connection with the spirit, a bond that eased her loneliness and brought her comfort. The whisper ceased, and the items stopped disappearing. With the disturbances behind her, Rumbi felt a renewed sense of purpose. She continued to tend to her garden, finding joy in the simple tasks of daily life. The presence of a child spirit was no longer something to fear, but a comforting reminder of the love that transcended even death. Rumbi felt a sense of peace she hadn't known in years. She decided to honor her child's memory by creating a small shrine in her house. She placed the doll there, surrounded by flowers and candles. Each day, she would light a candle and offer a prayer, feeling the spirit's presence close to her heart. The whispers had stopped, but Rumbi knew the spirit was still with her, watching over her and bringing her comfort. Word of Rumbi's experiences spread through the village. Some people were skeptical, while others were curious and went to visit her to confirm the rumors. Rumbi welcomed them into her home, sharing her story and the lessons she had learned about love, loss, and the power of the spirit world. She found solace in helping others, and her home became a place of healing and comfort for those who visited. Sekurumboma, the witch doctor, continued to support Rumbi, providing guidance and wisdom. Together, they helped many villagers understand and connect with the spirits of their loved ones. The village began to see Rumbi not as a woman haunted by a ghost, but as a wise and compassionate healer. Rumbi's journey of healing allowed her to embrace her past and find strength in her experiences. She no longer felt the weight of her sorrow, but instead carried the memory of her child with love and acceptance. The bond she had formed with the spirit brought her closer to the people in her village, creating a sense of community and support. As time passed, Rumbi's home became a symbol of hope and resilience. The villagers looked to her for guidance, and she found fulfillment in helping others navigate their own struggles. Her connection with the child spirit remained. It was strong, providing her with a sense of purpose and peace. The changes in Rumbi's life had a profound impact on the village. People began to embrace the idea of connecting with the spirits of their ancestors, seeking solace and guidance in times of need. The village became a place of unity and support, where everyone worked together to honor their past and build a brighter future. Rumbi's house, once a place of fear and uncertainty, was now a beacon of hope. She continued to nurture her garden, finding joy in the simple pleasures of life. The presence of a child spirit brought to her comfort, and she knew that she was never truly alone. The presence of a child spirit brought her comfort, and she knew that she was never truly alone. To celebrate the newfound sense of community and connection with the spirit world, the village decided to hold an annual festival of spirits. The festival would honor the memories of those loved ones and celebrate the bonds that connected the living and the dead. Rumbi played a central role in organizing the event, sharing her wisdom and experiences with the villagers. The festival brought joy and healing to the village, strengthening the ties between its people. Rumbi felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that her journey had helped transform the lives of those around her. The spirit of her child continued to watch over her, guiding her and bringing her peace. The spirit of her child continued to watch over her, guiding her and bringing her peace. As the years passed, Kumbi's story became a legend in the village. Her house, with its shrine to her child spirit, remained a place of healing and comfort. People from neighboring villages came to seek her guidance, and Rumbi welcomed them all with open arms. The Festival of Spirits became an important tradition, celebrating the connections between the living and the dead. Rumbi's legacy of love, resilience, and healing continued to inspire future generations, reminding them of the power of the human spirit and the importance of honoring the past. Rumbi's life was a testament to the strength and resilience of the human spirit. Her journey of healing and connection with her child spirit brought her peace and fulfillment. She knew that her story was not yet finished, and she continued to live each day with purpose and gratitude. The village, transformed by her experiences, thrived as a community of support and unity. Rumbi's wisdom and compassion touched the lives of many people, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of those who knew her. The spirit of her child remained a guiding presence, reminding her that love transcends even the boundaries of life and death.